A small risk for severe weather in parts of Wisconsin on Friday. Hey, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tom Wachs. Let's do a deep dive here into your forecast, and I'm going to start you out with the Storm Prediction Center severe weather outlook on Friday. It's a pretty low risk right now. This is a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms from northwest of Madison over towards La Crosse, Wisconsin, up into the Wausau area, and then southwest into portions of Iowa and northern Missouri and towards Omaha, Nebraska. Now, in terms of the specific risks, the tornado risk looking pretty low, the wind risk a little bit higher, but again, it's on the lower side, and same with the hail risk. But what does this mean for Wisconsin? Well, let me show you this here. This is the NATOcast product, which is an AI computer model that's really showing a lot of promise here. And it is showing a bit of, some higher probabilities, still on the low end, but from a tornadic standpoint in that marginal risk area. So that's certainly worth watching a little bit. Note how the wind here kind of goes up a little bit as we head towards southeastern Wisconsin. That's what I'm watching for specifically for us here in the southeastern part of the state. And hail is primarily off to the west. So let's take a look. I want to show you what the models are predicting at this point. And again, I want to caution you here, and you know this, the models have been terrible. They've been terrible really for the last several weeks. And, this may be no different. Now, let me show you what this is forecasting. This is the midday high-resolution computer model for the upper Midwest, and you see Wisconsin here on your screen. Now, we're going to take you to Friday, so here is 8 a.m. You're seeing some storms west of Minneapolis. Now we go throughout the afternoon. Now we're into the early afternoon hours. Look up towards Lake Superior, northwest Wisconsin, severe thunderstorms up there. And then you'll notice that everything kind of falls apart as it moves through the state of Wisconsin and into the southeast part of the state, right? So there's not a whole lot that comes through with the computer models. But we don't just look at what's happening at the surface with the computer model and what it's spitting out essentially in terms of precipitation. We have to peel the layers back. And for that, I want to take you upstairs here. So this is at 18,000 feet. And this is where we look at storm systems, okay? And we call this vorticity, all right? So think of like waves on an ocean or waves on the lake. We call these waves in the atmosphere, and we treat the atmosphere very much like a body of water, but it's in the air. So when you get these waves coming through in the atmosphere, it can help to lift the air up on one side of the wave and help to create showers and thunderstorms. Now, let's go into Friday. This is Friday morning, and so I'm watching this area right here, okay? So now watch as we go into the midday, into the afternoon. See how that increases there? So it's a small wave, but it's a pretty meaty one. And in fact, I think it's the best looking wave of the weekend, quite frankly. Now we're going to go into the evening. It gets even stronger as it's heading through La Crosse. Now here's the deal. The lift on this is going to be on the right side of the wave. So as we go into Friday evening, our lift in southeastern Wisconsin is going to be maximized. This is 10 p.m. Friday night. So as I'm looking at this, just, peeling back the layers from an atmospheric dynamic standpoint, I'm looking at that going, that's a pretty decent wave, and that's certainly something to be watched that could generate thunderstorms. That moves east into Saturday. We don't have much coming in on Saturday in terms of atmospheric waves. We got a few of them trying to come through on Sunday, but see how much weaker those are? I mean, they're little blips. So that would give us a slight chance for thunderstorms on Sunday at this point. But you see what I mean? It's not as strong as that Friday wave. Now, another thing I want to look at. So now we're going to take you to, about 5,000 feet over our heads. This is what's called the low-level jet stream. Watch as we go into the evening. That starts to perk up. Here's southeastern Wisconsin right here. That starts to perk up here. So that could also aid in keeping thunderstorms alive should they develop. All right, so that's giving me a bit of pause as well. Now let's peel some more layers back. This is showing the convective available potential energy, or the energy in the atmosphere for thunderstorms Friday into Friday night. It's not overly strong here. Okay, so the energy isn't great. It's there though, and the hotter and more humid we get, the more energy we're going to have. Note how it gets kind of milky here. That's because in the evening, we start to generate what we call SIN, or convective inhibition, effectively a cap in the atmosphere. Again, not totally sold on that, but this could be why the models are causing the storms to weaken as they move east. And finally, the last thing I want to show you here is an atmospheric sounding. This is a forecast for Friday evening, and this is showing a couple of things, so bear with me here. Number one, the red line, that's temperature as you go up. Like if you were to go into a hot air balloon and go up, that's the temperature going up, and you can see there is a cap right there. So in other words, it gets warmer for a time at about 5,000 feet. All right, so that could prevent thunderstorms from forming. Note the dew point, though. Dew points drop at about 5,000 feet. So there's drier air that's going to be above us. So if storms form, that could cause strong winds to come down from aloft. In addition, the wind shear, which is here on the right, that is showing roughly unidirectional wind flow, meaning westerly winds going up. Nothing overly strong, but given that it's out of the same direction, you could get some mixing as those downdrafts come down, bring some strong winds down from above. The Cape here showing over 6,000, and let me see if you can see the bottom here. There we go. The surface-based Cape over 2,000, that's decent. And the D Cape, downdraft Cape, is close to 1,000, which is also decent for strong winds. Then we go over here, and it's saying the potential hazard type is severe, so not so much tornadic, but more so strong winds at this point. So hope that makes sense. Here's the bottom line with this. Overall storm chances are low. I just went through all of this, but I would say overall storm chances are 20 to 30%. Not very great at this point, but the dynamics are there, especially the atmospheric wave, the low-level jet. We're going to have a front coming in as well, the heat and humidity. The ingredients are all there. The question is, will they all come together to produce some thunderstorms? I wouldn't be surprised if we get a few of them, especially on Friday evening. So if storms form, it'll have an environment to be strong to severe, even though southeastern Wisconsin is not under a risk right now for severe thunderstorms. But, we'll be watching for that certainly. It could very well stay dry all night. And I know some of you might say, oh, so you're saying it's all or nothing. Exactly. And that's why I want to do these videos, to peel back the layers and do these deep dives, because hopefully you have an understanding of sort of everything that goes into this, right? And I think there are a lot of ingredients that are pro-thunderstorms Friday evening, but there are also some ingredients that are anti-thunderstorms. It just depends on, which one of those wins out. So there is your deep dive as we head into the weekend. Dry, a bit less humid on Saturday. Sunday, more humid with another slight chance for thunderstorms. But as you saw, that wave on Sunday appears to be weaker than Friday's. You're up to date. Have a great night.